Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine. I'm coming on in a bit to show you how to make a card, but I'm being hampered by Blue. She's right in the middle of my desk. Look at that. So yeah, it might be a while before I'm on. Look at her. Spark out. No crafting for me. Look at that. Hello, I'm back. Blue has given me back my workspace. So I thought I'd come on and show you a card. Now I've made a prototype and it didn't go exactly to plan, which is what prototypes are all about, isn't it? And I've made an envelope using my trusty envelope punch board. And this card measures 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. And this is what I've gone and made, a tri-fold card. And you can see that at the top here it's a little bit, well, yes, on this middle layer it's a little bit out of kilter because my stamp platform, or my stamp in the stamp platform moved, or my paper moved, or something. And then I had a splodge here and I covered it up with this little sentiment, so that was that was useful. This card actually is going to go, because I'm not going to waste it, it's going to go to my dad's ex-wife. They got married a very, very long time ago, in the 1950s. Yeah, in the 1950s. I think they were married about 10 years. And they split up and have remained friends. And in fact, my mum, it's my dad's second wife, and dad's first wife, Rose, and her second husband, Stan, all get on really well. That's a bit convoluted, isn't it? But anyway, she's been really poorly. She's been in hospital for a long time and her eyesight isn't very good, so she won't notice. So this card's going to go to her. So I'm going to attempt to show you how I made this. So what you will need is 2 pieces of card that are 4.5 inches. Sorry, no you won't. You'll need 2 pieces of card that are 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. You're going to score at 4.25, and then you're going to take a slither off one side of both pieces of card, and I mean a slither. This is because you're going to stick 2 sides together to make your trifold, and you want to take out a little bit of bulk from the edges so that they meet. Now I've already had a go at this and messed it up, but what I want to do is put some glue on this surface here, and I'm using my Collal because it is a strong glue and it will also allow me a little bit of wiggle room. Placing this layer on top, taking care to line it up. Sorry if you can hear the washing machine going. All of a sudden, it's about 5:15, has become very active and she's hoovering a room and she's put a load of washing on, bless her. So yeah, just line up those shorter edged pieces so that you've got a middle panel and you've got your trifold like that. What you then want to do, and turn it that way, this is going to be my bottom layer. Just make sure that's lined up. I'm going to take my steel ruler and a pencil, and from this score line here I'm going to draw a line with my ruler to about, I'm going to move my ruler about halfway up, or maybe not quite halfway up the far side there. Draw a line and I'm going to cut that away with my big scissors. And we're going to end up with our layer. Now you're cutting through 2 layers of card here, so it's a little bit difficult. If you wanted to use your paper trimmer for this, you could. If you don't quite hit your line, that's fine. So there you can see you've got a layered effect like that. Pop my big scissors away. You know me, I don't get rid of anything. I'm going to put that little bit of card in my bin and save that piece for another day. Then I'm going to come in. For this you will need a stamp platform if you want to be accurate. Now I have to confess, I am not very practiced with a stamp platform. I've got this Tonic Studios one, Tim Holtz, and it's got an edge that says clear, and then you can flip it over and there's another bit that says rubber. Now I'm using a clear stamp. I'm using a daisy from Julie Hickey Designs. This is the Friendship Flower stamp set that I bought a while ago. You want a stamp that's going to fit the whole of your bottom layer. So this kind of it's kind of like a daisy that does fit. So now when I did this before, I got in a bit of a pickle because of the edges. So I think I'm going to try this way, and I'm going to put my stamp there, fold that over so that the platform picks it up. If I make a mistake on this, it doesn't really matter. What have I wasted? A couple of pieces of card. Come back with my magnets. They're very strong, these magnets. I've put a bit of washi tape on one to hold it in place. Can you hear Blue? She's been a right monkey today. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my VersaFine, or shall I try the VersaFine Claire? Actually, do you know what? I had a little bit of problem with my VersaFine earlier on, and wasn't quite stamping well enough for me. I got my second layer was a bit smudged. Let's see how we go. I'm going to stand up for this and press down. And see if we've got an impression. Oh, and I have. That's lovely. Now, what you want to do, because this is a pigment ink and it's going to be wet, I'm going to put a piece of paper over my stamped image. I'm not moving my stamp, and I'm going to come in now you see, this is where I shouldn't have butted that up to that corner, because I'm going to be in a pickle here. What I'm going to do is bend this back on itself, otherwise I'm going to be in a bit of a pickle. Okay, put my magnet back down. Ink up again, and you're not going to get all of the image this time because you've got a bit of paper missing. I've got some ink on my platform. I don't want that on my card. I've got a little bit of ink on my stamp there as well, so I'm just going to wipe that away and come in, press down hard. Let's see if we've got an impression. Yes, I think where I went wrong before, the VersaFine, it must now be starting to run out. So taking care that my image is butted right up to that top corner, putting my paper in, putting my magnet there and a magnet there. I'm going to ink up again. And again, we're not going to get all of the image, making sure that you've got that paper in between the layers. Perfect. Okay, now I can move my stamp platform out of the way and I'll sort that stamp out later just to save time. Hopefully you can see that we've got what looks like one image, but when I open it up, don't know how best to do this so you can see. This is the portion that you're going to write on. That's where you're going to write your message. And that ink is still a little bit wet. So what you might want to do is just wait completely for your image to dry. But I found actually that if I use a clean rubber, I can get any little smudge marks off. See guys, I'm making all of these mistakes so that you don't have to. And what we're going to do now, we're going to colour our image in. You can obviously use whatever you like to colour your image in. I'm going to just reach for a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer powder, and I'll tell you why. I told you the other day that my sparkle pen had run out, my Spectrum Noir clear sparkle pen. Well, I've had a little experiment this afternoon and I've discovered that if I put some of this white pearl and use a water brush, it actually doesn't want to come out. It actually gives me some sparkle. Why won't that come out? There's definitely powder in there. Oh dear me, not having much luck today. Oh look, and I've got it everywhere now. Oh dear me. Right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to tap the excess onto this bit of scrap paper and we're going to try and pour it back in the bottle. Oh dear me, look, I've got sparkle everywhere. Right, getting in a right mess here. This is how not to craft. As I say, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. My hands, oh, if I put that on my face, I've got glitter all over my face. Right, that's back in there. Anyway, what I was saying was, if I use a water brush, I can get a similar effect to the clear sparkle pen. But what I'm going to do now is just use a wipe to clean my hands. And as I said, you can use anything to colour your image in. I'm going to use some Distress Oxides. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use ripe persimmon for the centre of each of these flowers. So I'm just putting a bit on the edge of my block. That's more than enough of this colour. And I've got a fine brush, and I'm just going to spritz a little bit of water on my block. And just going to use this bit of paper. I hope you all had a nice day. I went for a little walk today. I had to post something at the post office, and that was a nice walk. It was quite grey when I went out, but say it's brightened up beautifully this afternoon. I should have waited a bit later to go out really, but I wanted to go out and get the jobs done. I'm going to just pop that over there so that I don't contaminate what I'm doing. Just coming in there. I've usually got a little bit of kitchen roll on hand to mop up little bits. Here we go. So I'm just going to dab that dry and take a bit of the colour off and add a bit more. I want a depth of colour in that middle there. You could use your alcohol pens for this, but they might seep through the back. That's the only thing. You could use watercolours. You could use ordinary distress ink. You could use cosmic shimmer powders. You could use brushes as watercolours. There's lots of things that you could do. You could use the ink just with a blending tool. Actually, I saw Natasha Foote do this. I don't know whether anybody else follows her, and she made a mask out of the flower stamp that she used and cut around the edge and put the kind of cutaway piece so that she got the flowers on her card exposed. And then she could blend, and she used some really nice colours. Now I'm just going to clean my brush, and then because I don't want to waste that orange on my block, I'm just going to mop that up on a bit of card here, because you know me, I don't like to waste anything. That will come in for something. Just get rid of that little bit of colour there. Now this is where I'm going to come in with my water brush. So I'm using mustard seed now. So I used ripe persimmon for the centres of my flowers, and now I'm using mustard seed, and I'm going to pick up a bit of my Cosmic Shimmer White Pearl, and this will give a nice pearlescence. You could do fancy things with the centres of these flowers if you wanted to. You could, those little micro seed beads that I've got, the gold ones, they'd look nice in the centre with the yellow. Or you could do little stickles dots or liquid pearls dots, or just glitter, whatever you like really. So I'm just going to get a bit more water out and get a bit more of this Cosmic Shimmer in my mustard seed. It's a nice, lovely, bright colour. It's reminding me of daffodils. Cat's meowing. I don't know why. Her feeding times are 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And I make sure she's got plenty of water. I don't overfeed her because everybody says that she's fat. I don't think she's fat. When I took her to the vets for her jabs in October or whenever it was, they said that she was one of the few pets that hadn't put any weight on during lockdown. So bless her. But she's yeah, at the beginning of this video I've shown you her lying all over my desk, so I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of definition with a bit more of a deeper colour in the centre of these flowers. You can take as long as you want over these bits really. And then I'm going to come in and do that. So you don't want to see me colouring in, you know how to colour in. I shall pause you there and come back and show you the finished result. So I finished my colouring in now, and I just went in with a little bit of ripe persimmon watered down to give a bit of depth on these flowers, but hopefully you can see the shimmer on the flowers. I've only done it on the flowers, I haven't bothered doing it on the leaves. And then the leaves I've gone ahead, the stalks I've done in Lucky Clover, and the actual leaf I've done in Mowed Lawn. And I've just stamped happy birthday in the bottom corner and for you up here. I might add a little bit more to it yet. I don't know, I might add a couple of little pearls or something. I've got some nice little yellow and pale green ones, we'll see. But I do actually quite like the plain look. And then you've got this area here to write your message, or if that's not big enough, you've obviously got the back of the card as well. Let's compare it to the original one. It's going to look a bit different, I think, because the angle of the cut is different. Oh, it's not too far off actually, but you can see without the shimmer you get much more depth of colour, and I went in and built up layers, which is what you can do with the oxides. The For You is a bit lower down because that's where I'd got a little ink mark. But as I say, that one's going to go to my dad's ex-wife because she's been poorly in hospital for quite some time and she's at home now. And then this one's going to be for my mother-in-law's birthday. And I thought I'd just show you this stamp set very quickly. I'm not affiliated or sponsored or anything, but this is a really versatile little stamp set with a one big stamp, which you could obviously stamp off in different places. You've got various sentiments: thank you, special friend, happy birthday, sending happy thoughts for you. You've got one heart that's a moderate size and 3 little hearts, and then this little sentiment here, little background stamp which has got tiny text on it. It's challenging my eyesight. It's got things like, for my special friend, believe in yourself, for always being there, miss you, life is something or other, cherish our friendship, best friends, miss you, life is better with you, or something. So that's a really nice little background set. And then finally, what I thought you might want to look at is how you can make an envelope, because this is not a standard sized card. I've got this huge 12 by 12 paper pad that I've had for probably 10 years, if not more, that I bought from Dragon's Papercraft back in the day when she had a stall on the market in Rugby. And there are 180 sheets here of 60 designs, and you can get a sense of some of the patterns there. It's called Tattered and Worn Cardstock Paper. Just to give you a little flick through. There's some really nice patterns and colours. And I've gone ahead and I've chosen this. So using my envelope punch board, my card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So looking down here, I'm looking to see the closest. Now I know that there aren't any quarter measurements on here. It's all half inches and complete inches. So the closest I've got is 4 1/2 by 5 1/2, which is an American A2, and it's telling me I need to cut my paper to 8 1/8 of an inch square, which I've already gone ahead and done. So putting it in my punch board, it's telling me that I need to punch and score at 3 3/4. I'm going to do it this way, 3 3/4, punch and score Don't score too hard because you don't want to rip your paper. Punch and score. Line up the score mark. You're not measuring after your first punch and score. You're lining up the score mark with this notch that's here. Score. Punch and score. Now, because this is paper rather than cardstock, or it's quite lightweight paper, I'm not going to round my corners because the punch board doesn't seem to like, the corner round a bit of the punch board doesn't seem to like this paper, and it kind of gets a bit chewed up. So I'm just going to save a step there. So I'm just lightly folding and burnishing my score lines, and I think the colour of this envelope looks nice with our card. Yes, okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along my edge here. Don't go all the way up to your corner, because your top corner there, because otherwise you're going to stick it to the paper. And just fold that down. I've got a little glue splodge there, clear that up, and there is my little envelope, which fits our card beautifully. Very snug fit, but you've got a little bit of excess at the top, and I should just do a little label on there, or just write in black mum, because it's going to be delivered by hand, so it doesn't need to go through the post. And then finally, this is just some scrap card. I've smooshed off the bits of ink off my acrylic block, and they'll come in for my little thank you cards. So that's it from me today. I might open the coffee shop tomorrow, let you know what Barry's been up to. We've had a bit of a to do today, so yeah, I'll fill you in on Barry tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye now.